Hi everyone, and welcome back to Monday Night Stamping. I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. I feel like I've got a little frog here, so sorry if I have to clear my throat. This is Monday Night Stamping, where we chat, connect, and create together. The 3 C's. I'm just glad to have you here. And my name is Lillian from Stamper's Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada. So last week when I showed a whole bunch of snowflake projects, and we did the sparkling, the glimmery snowflakes, one of the other projects I showed was this shaker card, and many of you asked if I'd go over again how to make a shaker card. So we haven't done that for a while, so that's what's on the agenda for tonight. So make sure you say hi, maybe say where you're from, or maybe even share something you did this last weekend as we get connected and go down to my desktop. So say hi and something, where you're from, maybe something you did over the weekend. As many of you know, one of the things I did over the weekend was I attended a virtual Stampin' Up! Event, and Stampin' Up! They're exceptional at putting on events, and this was no exception. It was like a conference, an online conference, and it was absolutely amazing. So that was what I did. So what's something you did over the weekend? And while you're entering that in, and I am just making sure that I can be seen online. It looks like I'm seeing people say hello, so I'm thinking you can, oh, you were at a crafty retreat. Oh, that is good for the soul. You are right. That is good for the soul. I am so envious of that too. So as you're sharing what you did, I'm just going to share something that's going to happen beginning, I can't get my train of thought working properly tonight. Beginning Wednesday, and it's only going to be from Wednesday to Friday, and it's Stampin' Up! Seasonal Sale. And what is so special about that? Well, it's stuff in the annual catalog that is on sale. So the cardstock is 10% off. The bundles are 20% off. Designer paper is 20% off. And ink, and that includes like the ink pads, the markers, the blends, they're 10% off. So my question to you is, how will you prepare? Because it's only a couple of days. So how can you take advantage of that and be prepared? I would say start a list. And the other thing to be aware of is that it's only while supplies last. So if something sells out, then you are going to be out of luck. So I would make a list and be ready to do it, enter it November the 13th, Wednesday morning. Or if you're wanting, you live locally and you're wanting me to put your order in, please have it to me before Wednesday. All right. So where do we find the bundles in the annual catalog? They start on page 57. There, can you see 57? And it says bundle. So bundles are already 10% off. They're an additional 20% off. So in total, it would be 30% savings. So that is something to remember. Marilyn, you need to check you need some cardstock. Oh, super time to stock up. I need some too. And actually my pumpkin pie blends just dried up. So I am going to go through my inks and my blends and markers and make sure that I've got everything I need there. So we've got all of these bundles here like that. So this is one that I have seen so many fun examples of, and I don't have it yet. Yeah, I know. So maybe that will be on my list. For designer paper, I would suggest that the best way to find out what designer paper is go to the index and then go to where it says paper and packaging and go down to designer paper, and that will show you what designer paper is on sale. So all kinds of good things to be aware of. So be prepared and ready to act and save. And if you have some crafty friends in your life, or if you're like me and you sometimes have to help your significant other in your life with stocking stuffers, I am going to suggest a few stocking stuffers for him, or maybe just purchase them and give them to him and say they can be in my stocking. Do you ever do that for stocking stuffers? We help each other out a bit there. So I said that we tonight are going to make a shaker card, and we're going to, instead of using the snowflakes, we are going to use the Christmas Friends bundle. So this bundle is from the mini, so it's not on sale. I already had this planned before I had found out about the sale. This is just the cutest bundle ever. Now the dies, they are out of stock right now, but they're going to be in the beginning of December, if not sooner. So just keep that in mind. So these critters, I just love the expression on their faces. And everyone who watches or looks at it picks out a different favorite there. But I did a poll today and the moose won. So that is what we are going to use tonight. But let's look at my Get Acquainted sheet. So in the dies, you even get a big circle. So it's a little bit different size than our other circles, so it gives you even more opportunity. There are dies to cut out these stamped images, but then you get some bow kind of things, and they layer. You can have small ones and use them individually or layer them. You have got, pardon me, these musical notes, and I just have to show you that die. These musical notes, one die cuts out all three so that you can get a whole bunch at once. Same with the stars. So one pass through and you get lots. So there's that, and then we've got these squares, which you can use as squares, but they can work as packages too. And then you've got the ribbon to put on, and you've got these, you've got a little bow tie, you've got a little speech balloon. So just, there's tons in this die set. So that is the bundle. And we're going to go with a different color. We're going to use Summer Splash. So we're going, it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. And then we're going to fold that and burnish it with a bone folder. And that's going to be the base of our card. So we'll put that to the side. Then we're going to bring in this piece of paper, which is 4 by 5 1/4. So it's just 1/4 of an inch smaller. And I've done this step already. Let me just bring it in. I used a die and cut out an opening. I used a different die than the circle that's in the dies that come here. This was just a little bit too big. I needed an opening that would leave me a little bit more border here. So I used the, I used Stylish Shapes, my go-to dies, and I used the second one in. So that's what I use. You can use whatever shape you want. I like shapes that have rounded edges so that whatever is shaking in there doesn't get stuck in the corners. So ovals or that kind of thing. You can use squares, it's just fine. That's just my preference. So this I'm going to use on a project another time. And then I ran this through the Snowflake Sky embossing folder. So I've got all these snowflakes on there, and I've got that part done. So we've got that, and that's going to eventually go on there. So you can see the opening. And then we have some other pieces here, including a piece of window sheet. Now window sheets, let me bring this white back in. Window sheets come 12 by 12, and they're clear plastic. And if you don't have window sheets, maybe look around the house. Maybe you have some clear plastic somewhere else. You can even, in your stamp sets, in the photopolymer ones, there are some clear plastic there, and you might want to steal from there. So your window sheet has to be a bit bigger than your opening. All right, so we're going to fasten that in right now. We're going to fasten it in on the back. So we're going to just put it like that. So it literally is a window there. So I like to use my seal, and I'm just going to put seal around the edges, seal the edges, so to speak, right? There we go. Speaking of stockings, how many of you love to have a Christmas stocking? I think that's my favorite thing to get Christmas Day. And we still do one for my mom, that kind of thing. It's just fun to do. So here is the window sheet. It really doesn't matter what it looks like if it's a little crooked or something because it's on the back. The one thing you don't want is it for to overhang the edges. So it has to be within the edges of your cardstock and yet over covering the opening. So we'll just put it down like that and press it down. So from this side, we've got that. It looks pretty clear right now. It's all good. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a little something here before we do the rest. I want some snow here. So I am going to, I've got some pieces that, I don't know, they're likely 1.5. They were scraps and they're 4 inches wide. And I'm going to tear, and I'm going to make sure that I'm tearing towards me because then I get that ruffly edge. And I'm going to give myself some snowbanks on that one, and then on this one I'm going to do the same but go more towards the middle and maybe not quite so hilly. And then I'm going to flip this one over so I have 3 pieces. This one's going to go down here. I think this one will go just catch the bottom edge of that circle. Let's see. Hopefully I've planned this out well enough. This one's going to go here. Sometimes I like to cut them longer so I can shift them around, but these are going to work out just fine. And then this one is going to go here. The reason I like to put them down is I just want to make sure I've got enough going on. I made them wide enough and that I like the looks of it. Alrighty. So first off, I'm going to put some glue on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put glue on the 2 edges and on the bottom. Whoops, I was supposed to do something else before I did that. Let's see if I can do that without getting, well, I'm not going to do it with this one. I'll do it with the next one. So I'm just going to catch the edge, and the reason I didn't put glue all over is I might want to tuck something in. So I am going to give myself that option. There we go, like that. We had a little skiff of snow over the weekend, but it disappeared. So far so good. Now remember, no one's going to see the bottom of this. So if you think, oh, it would look better if I angled it a little bit, you can always do that too. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. So what I'm going to do now is just rough up those edges. I meant to do it on all of them, but you know, we can always ad lib, right? And we can do a little bit of this. And then I want it to look sparkly, so I'm going to bring in Wink of Stella. When in doubt, always Wink of Stella, right? How many of you enjoy Wink of Stella? So Wink of Stella is a liquid glitter. It just adds a bit of shine. And I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me see. Can you see the shine? It's there. You'll have to trust me. And it's, you can see, you don't have to be careful. It is just whatever. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my adhesive again, just in case I want to tuck things in. I'm going to leave myself that option. Oh, I see somebody loves Wink of Stella, a kindred spirit. It really is fun to use. So there, we've got that one there. Let me just see if I got it. It could go a little bit higher, perhaps. The joy of liquid glue. You can rearrange it for a minute. Ooh, I got that close to the edge, though. It's usually wisest not to go right on the edge with your liquid glue. We've all learned that the hard way, haven't we? I'm putting this along the bottom, just like that. So now we have our opening, we have our snow. So now we're going to flip it over and we're going to bring in something called foam adhesive strips. Now they are 9 3/4 inches long. I often cut mine in half, I find them easier to use, and then I store them in one of our clear cases. So I have bits and pieces in here, and our goal is going to be to run the adhesive strips around the edge so that there's no opening. And the nice thing about the adhesive strips is they're skinny and they bend. So we're going to just put it in just inside the opening because we don't want it to show, but we don't want it to be too far back. Otherwise, all of the shaker stuff in there is going to be hidden. So we'll go like that. And I'm going to share in a minute what I would do if I didn't have these. But I'm wondering if some of you have suggestions. What are some things you do if you don't have the foam strips? Any suggestions? There, look at that. I've got a little opening. We can't have that because all the stuff that's shaking will fall out. So I'm going to bring in one of these and just cut off a piece. And it looks like I need to cut it that way. Normally I would cut it when it was on the paper, but I forgot. You don't get your scissors so sticky. There, squeeze that in so that there are no openings, like that. Now, if you don't have the foam adhesive, you can use the edges of your dimensionals. They are all in a line and you can just cut them and put them around. The thing to remember, if it's important to you, is that the adhesive strips are just a little bit, let me see, how can I do this? A little bit thicker. So they're a little higher. So whichever you choose, don't go back and forth. Stay either with one or the other. And that will be all good. All right, so we've got that ready. Now we have to do something for the window. What's going to be here? So you can use designer paper. You can use whatever you want. I meant to do this ahead of time. Well, I am going to cut another paper. Just hang tough there. I got ahead of myself. Got so excited about putting the window sheet in. No, that's not going to work either because I won't hit the same spot. I'm going to bring this in and very lightly do a pencil mark. So now I'll tell you what I should have done. I should have, before I put the window sheet in, put this here and done my stamping. So I will also share with you in a minute a workaround, but we're going to stamp Happy Holidays. This is right from the same stamp set. Yes, Marilyn, you definitely could use dimensionals. It would just be a little more, few more pieces, but you can work it up. Anything that's going to raise it up and so that when you put things in it, they have room to shake around. Now I'm going to bring my eraser and erase this. Now I could stamp snowflakes in here. I could do whatever. The thing to remember is you do not want to glue anything down in here because then if you have things shaking around, they'll get caught. So you want to keep everything flat. So now we've got that like that. Now we're going to put our shaker stuff here. So I thought it would be fun to use these little musical notes. On another one that I'm going to show you later, I used the little stars. So I cut these out of the In Color Glimmer paper, and I want to get them all right side up here, just so we have the glimmer. And you don't even have to do this, but I wanted to share that you can use die cuts and you can use punched shapes. It doesn't just have to be, whoops, here's another one hiding here. We might as well use them all. So those are die cut shapes, and they're adding a bit of glimmer. And then we're bringing in the white loose snowflakes, and we're going to take a pinch of them. Oh, maybe a few more. I always get a little too generous, and you don't have to be quite as generous as I think you have to be sometimes. Now we've got this. What we're going to do is peel the backing off. Bring in my little garbage tray. And we've got the backing off of all of it. And we're going to go like, keep that straight. And because I stamped it like that, I am just going to come down. And once again, it doesn't matter if it's straight on the back, as long as what I want is, and there we've got the shaker part. Now we just have to make the rest of the card. So this is going to go on here, but this is really raised up, and I'm not going to put dimensionals here because this is a little thicker. So I'm actually going to bring my foam strips back in and use them just so that part doesn't sag. So let's see, we'll put here. So you want your dimension to be the same height, right? I could put some here. I don't think I need to, but oh, well, why not? Right? That's a personal choice. And this part here is going to be raised up. So we're going to peel these pieces off. Just like that. And then we're just going to put glue here because that's already raised up. Flip it over and put it on our card front. And you can make it a little cockeyed or straight. I'm going to go with straight. And there we go. So we've got that part done. Now we just have to add the stuff here. So I thought I saw a lot of you, and you chose the moose in the poll. So we're going to do the moose tonight, but any of those critters would work, or anything else. Like you could make spring cards, Easter cards, whatever. I'm just using scrap paper here. So there we go, like that. And then I'm going to use my blends to color. So I have a few. I'm going to bring in the crumb cake first and work on the antlers. Now, over the years, I've changed the way I've used blends, and we all use them, whatever works for us. But I'm going to use crumb cake. I'm going to start with the dark, and you see how the artists have done these marks. I'm just going to just sort of swish some dark down on those. Oh, and I'm going to do here. And I don't like to go too far ahead because I like them to be able to blend. Oh, this is not the right color. That's smoky slate. That's going to be for the skates, right? And then we've got this one here. So this is light crumb cake. Now I'm going to sort of, oh dear, this is the dark. I'm having one of those nights. That's okay. It's all very forgiving. So there's the dark crumb cake. Now I'll bring in the light, and I'm going to just go over the dark and swish out. I'm not going to go to the edges on these. I want the edges of the antlers to be lighter. And we need to bring the dark in for the snout as well. And then we'll swish it out. I'm going to try, sometimes I don't do it very well, leave a little white spot as if the light is hitting around his nose, like that. And then sometimes I use the color lifter to come back in and just even smooth it out a little bit more if I'm leaving that white space. So what it does is it just pulls a very light touch of that color. And we get that kind of look going on. So let me just bring that up. So there we go, like that. Now you know how to color, I'm sure. So I'm not going to color the whole moose. I've colored him ahead of time. And yesterday when I was talking about what colors should we do the skates, we had all kinds of suggestions. And I ended up using the blue because it went with the card I was making. But for tonight, I used the red because I thought it went with this card. And I really, really like it. So now we are going to bring in our Wink of Stella. I'm going to remember it this time and go over the blades. Our granddaughter just got new snow boots and they are hot pink, almost a red pink. My husband says they're red, but they are a hot pink if you're in the right light, and she loves them. So she's rocking the red boots this year. So there we have it like that. Now I can take my moose and I can tuck him in one of the snowbanks. What I have to watch is that his antlers aren't covering the words. I could even have him right down in here. I think I'll put him here. And because this is all on dimensionals, I don't think I'm going to put him on dimensionals. I am just going to glue him down, and I'm going to just glue where his feet are because that's what's tucking in. I guess I could go a little higher. There we go. Oh, he's just so cute. There we go, just like that. I think I'm even going to Wink of Stella a little bit around his skates. There we go. So we've got that. Now, what I did was I die cut some of these. So we could put them up here to do that. So there's an option. I also die cut some of the presents. So I used designer paper. This was the Take a Bow designer paper. And then we've got this little piece here. Isn't that just the cutest? I love it. And I already made another one here. So we can tuck presents around. So let's make this present. And we're almost ready to finish up this shaker card. And then I'll show you another one. And then I'll show you some more Christmas friends. So let's see, how many of you own this stamp set or wish you did? Say I own it, I wish I did, doesn't interest me. Where are you at in that? Let's hear from you. Okay. I'm going to put this on here. Looks so festive already. Okay, I'm just going to bring a tissue in and get that excess glue. Should have used my finer tip one. And then I'm going to put this on top like that. So now we have two little gifts and we just have to figure out where we're going to tuck them. Maggie's got it. Okay, Catherine hasn't got it yet. Bonnie has it. Oh, how many of you have you had fun with it, or are you still getting around to using it?
Ooh, I think I like the presents tucked around the snowbanks like that. What do you think? I think we're going to go with that. Now, here's the question. Should I put the boughs on the top or not? Boughs or no boughs? No boughs. Okay, we are going no boughs. So those of you who were wondering, this is what it would be like with the boughs on the top. So we're going no boughs. Now I said that I would also talk about what you could do if you didn't want to stamp in here. Karen Gardner, and actually she's on here tonight, but Karen used the bear on a card and used the, oh, I can't come up with my words tonight. Use them so they wiggle, you know, the sprong. And then she used this from the bumblebee one to make a speech balloon. And so that gave me the idea. So thank you, Karen. And if you didn't want to type or to stamp in here, you could make a little speech balloon or bubble, and you could put that on there like that. So Happy Holidays didn't fit, so I ad-libbed by just stamping it, cutting it apart, and putting it on dimensionals. So that would be another option right there. So here is the card I made yesterday with the blueberry bushel boots, and I used designer paper in the back of this one, and then did some heat embossing. So I've got the stars in here and tucked little trees in here. So here's the same card, same animal even. Oh, I know what I forgot. I was going to also add a few more of these. Now, these are just fun to add wherever. I've put this one on here. I put a couple on the outside, and I'm going to do that here as well. It takes maybe a minute to dry, but they, with the multi-purpose adhesive, they stick perfectly. So let's see, we'll put one here. They just do take a minute to dry because you're sticking to plastic. And we'll put one here. And you get so many that you don't feel like you're wasting. You could do a zillion of them. But you can add all the ones that you want to add to the outside as well. We could put some down here. We could put some wherever. So that's another way of using these embellishments. I have had a lot of fun with those embellishments and used them a ton. So here are the two cards, and you can definitely shake to your heart's content there. Now I wanted to just share a few more cards made with the Christmas friends. So let's move these out of the way, give ourselves some room. So I've been doing Christmas card classes, and one style we've been doing is this one here. And this is actually the circle that comes in the die set. So we emboss the tree here, and we have done that. So here's the exact same card done with a smaller circle, but done in pinks. So this is pretty in pink. So there you go, like that. I chose the bear for the class so they didn't have to color too much, because coloring does slow things down. So there's that. So this one here, I used the snowflake dies that we did the class on last week, and this, and again, some little of those snowflakes from tonight even on here. So there you go, like that. Here is an owl one, and again I was thinking, what if I don't want to color too much? So I sponged in the background, just colored the hat, and then I was wanting to play with the enamel effects, so I used that on the hat there. What I've seen some people do is they've stamped the owl and cut the hat out and then put it on, say, the bear or the moose or the little mouse. That's so cute. So that's another way of extending the use. So there's that. This one I got the idea from somebody. There we go. This one I received in a swap, and it's a case from the catalog. So they've used metallic here, and then they just fussy cut around the words like that. So there's the owl again. And that birch embossing folder is just gorgeous. Here's the little mouse, not to be forgotten. He's busy singing away, singing happy holidays or whatever, and he's got the little bell there hanging, so that's cute. Again, this is the exact same design, but with the bear. So using the same designer paper, the Take a Bow designer paper. And then last but not least, I had to make an Edmonton Oilers. And like I said, my pumpkin pie, my dark pumpkin pie ran out. When it arrives, I will color this a little darker so that it is our hockey team's colors, but it is a wobbly there, and so glad you exist. And this is going to one of the grandchildren. Actually, I'll have to make a few more likely, but those animals just love to spin around and have some fun. So there you go. So tonight's card was this one here. So remember, if you want blends, ink, cardstock, designer paper, any of those things, you might want to be starting your list now and be ready for the 13th. That's just the day after tomorrow. So take care, have fun, and if you've made something with your Christmas friends stuff, I would love to see pictures of it. Feel free to post them. We would love to share. All right, take care, everybody, and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.